Find out what the world needs, and then proceed to throw your life, your energies, your passions, your strengths, your skills into solving what the world needs the most. And today, as a Cornell family, as a community, as a group of young people that care about living a life of purpose, as a group of young people who might be a little bit confused about what you want to do, it's really important to do two things. Number one, recognize the truth of who you are, and even more important, recognize the truth of what is out there. So for a brief moment, let's talk about out there. Let's talk about a world of 6.7 billion people and 1 billion people who live under $2 a day. A world of 6.8 billion people and 2 billion people who live under $2 a day. 67 million kids every single day around the world live under cardboard boxes. 67 million people, kids, live under cardboard boxes, addicted to drugs, lacking the opportunity to raise their hand in a classroom, just like this one, mostly girls. 20,000 kids die of 4 things every single day. Count them off with me. TB, AIDS, malaria, and conditions related to not having one clean glass of water to drink in their entire life, a condition that affects 1 billion people every single day. It keeps going. Follow it. 2.5 billion people live in a state called energy poverty, a state without light or heat or transportation of any kind. 1 billion people go to bed hungry every single night. If we have the courage to truly open up our eyes and find out what the world really needs, and if we have the courage to find out what the world needs, and we're being honest, we know these needs are not just a human thing, right? Because we live in a big planet, and we're not the only inhabitants of this planet. So let's think deeper. Let's think broader about these needs. Every second, a football-sized field of rainforest is just ripped up and thrown into the back of a flatbed truck. Every single day, 70 million tons of CO2 pollution dumped in our atmosphere like it's a smeltering, stank, open sewer, not an atmosphere we all should respect. Every day, scientists at universities just like this one call out to us and say we're facing something called the sixth extinction, a phenomenon that says by 2050, 50% of all the plants and the animal species on this planet just gone because of the havoc that we are wreaking on our global environment. And every single day, an issue we certainly don't think about nearly enough, 70 billion animals live behind the walls of factory farms, suffering from cruel and inhumane punishment because of our simple choices about what we decide to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now, guys, we can hear these needs, and we can do like I did for so long in my life, and we can close our eyes to them. We can pretend they don't exist. We can run around here being a bunch of apathetic young people. We can hear these needs and say, well, forget about apathy. Let me get all upset about it. Let me express a lot of anger and frustration and complain about it with my friends and family and rail against society because we live in such a world. I want to encourage all y'all tonight, beginning when you leave, to choose option number 3. Option number 3 is called thriving, because solving what the world needs the most enables you to do just that. The world's biggest needs align with opportunities for you to thrive, for you to engage whoever you are. You're sitting there and you love finance or design or art or music. You're sitting there and there's something about consulting that just fascinates you. You're sitting there and you're a mathematics whiz. You're back there and you're thinking about how to code that next line of code for your computer science project. Solving the world's biggest needs align with all these skills, all of these disciplines, and it's up to you to find how it aligns with you, because I promise it does. This is not about being a martyr to the world. This is about finding opportunities for you to make money, for you to have a prosperous career, for you to have the type of life that you want to have. Listen, I know it's a paradox, but it's also a fact. Selflessness, in many, many ways, can be profitable. Now I begin this journey of confusion, this journey of clarity to see if I could find this alignment in myself. On the streets of Cape Town, South Africa, I was there working with a school called Learn to Live. Learn to Live is a school that does one thing. It educates street children. If you've never heard that term before, street children. It's an actual official UN term for the millions of kids that live on our world's streets. So if you're from New York or Philly or LA, some other big cities, you've seen lots of homeless people. Well, they're not homeless people, they're homeless kids. 7, 10, 13 years old. Lots of them hopped up on their drug of choice, shoe glue. See a little indentation in their shirt, and they'll stand on the corner, putting their nose down like this and huffing up. Some of them have big glassy eyes. It was my job to work at this school, go out to their communities, the township in South Africa, Ithaca, but also to stand in front of them as their teacher and teach them basic things. Math and history, the multiplication tables one time. So here I am, guy that thought he was going to play in the NFL, had this crazy dream. Now I'm in South Africa, sitting in front of all these street kids, teaching this lesson on the multiplication tables. Still not knowing if this is what I really want to do. But I remember being up, I had this tiny little piece of chalk in my hand, this old rickety chalkboard, and I went up and I started teaching. 7 times 5, 6 times 5, this is how it goes. But shortly after I started teaching, I saw a couple kids sleeping. I saw a few kids shaking their head like, oh man, I don't get what you're saying. It doesn't make any sense. And then hands started coming up. I don't get it, Josh. I'm sorry. I just don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. And there was like a domino of, I don't get it. I don't get it across the room. Now, one young girl in the front row, she was particularly incensed by my teaching style. She was shaking her head. And she looked like I had just stolen something from her. And I said, I don't really know what to do. And she said, I got an idea. Let me try. I was out of options, guys. So I gave the chalk to her, and I said, you might as well get up there because I'm not doing a good job. And without even hesitating, this is what I love about this young girl, she took the piece of chalk from me, and she said, all right, sounds good. And I sat down, and she stood up. And I just love that visual, this white American man standing, sitting down as this young black South African girl stands up for her education. And she gets in front of her merry band of street kids, and she tries to teach them multiplication tables. And for the first couple of minutes, it looked like they were listening to her. And then she starts to integrate these examples from the street into the lesson. She talks about this old cold train platform where all the kids would sleep at night, and tries to weave it, integrate it into the lesson as a way to communicate it more effectively. Now, I would love to end the story by saying all the kids got A's and they totally understood what she was saying, and then she took over and became a teacher for the rest of her life. I honestly don't know if the kids actually understood what she was saying, but I know I was awfully impressed. I was very impressed by her audacity to sit me down, her creativity to use that example from the street in her lesson. So after the lesson was over, I went up to her and I asked her a few questions. I said, what's your name again? Lauren. How old are you? I'm 12 years old, she says confidently. I said, well, you mentioned this old train platform that all the kids sleep on. Well, is that where you sleep at night? She kind of laughed. She was like, no, I was like, an old train platform? You must be kidding me. I just sat you down and stood up. You think I'm going to sleep on an old cold train platform? I said, well, I don't get it. Where do you sleep at? If all the other street kids sleep there, you have a mom or dad you can go to, a grandma whose home you can sleep at? And she said, no, sadly, all of them died. All of them died of AIDS. I said, okay. So where do you go at night, Lauren? And she said, well, what I usually do is hang out with European tourists, Josh. I said, okay. I didn't even hang out with European tourists. These young girls hang out with European tourists. So I said, what exactly does that mean, Lauren? And she said, well, usually this is how it goes. See all these European tourists, men, they hang out at the bars and the clubs on Kloof Street and Long Street in Cape Town. And they come pouring out the bars at 1:32 a.m., and I just stand there like this, patiently waiting for them. And they come up to me. I don't need to come up to them. And ask me a few questions just like you asked me, Josh. They say, little girl, what's your name? Lauren. How old are you? 12. And then they ask this one, how much are you? And our answer is usually about the equivalent of $5 American. So this young girl, with such fire inside her, is being abused and mistreated in the most sadistic and horrific ways by these men back in their hotel rooms. all because she wants a little food in her stomach and because she's too proud to sleep on that dirty train platform. And y'all, we can hear a story like that, and we can close our eyes and pretend it doesn't exist when we go on in our world, in our courses, in our friends, in our frats, in our sororities, in our student organizations. We can hear a story like that, and we can get incensed and angry and pissed off that it happens. Or we can pick the better choice, and we can thrive. We can thrive by starting and working with companies like Hello Rewind, a small company in New York City that said, how can I make a difference in the lives of women who've been victims of sex trafficking? Here's an idea. Let me take a t-shirt, turn it into a laptop slipcover, sell it for $50, and enable the women who have been victims of sex trafficking to take part in the production process, in the design process. You can check them out at hellorewind.com. We can be apathetic, we can whine or complain, or we can thrive by working with nonprofit organizations like More Than Me, an organization started by my good friend Katie, who was sick and tired of seeing little girls on the street in Liberia, and literally with just flat-out tenacity, started an organization with little education and is now educating hundreds of young girls in Liberia and making a salary for herself at the same time. We can thrive by working with companies, entrepreneurs with companies, called Better World Books. A company, it's a for-profit social enterprise. They're solving a need through being a better business. They sell textbooks. You might have bought some of them. And they give a percentage of the profits to help fight global illiteracy. You love fashion, you might say in the back. Work with, start a company like Eden, E-D-U-N, started by Bono and Bono's wife, Allie Houston. It's this fashion company, the highest style fashion you've ever seen, and I certainly don't know fashion, but my friend told me it's very high fashion. And they enable women simply to Hello Rewind to take part in the production process, to be a part of the design. They give women a fair wage. They make trade truly fair. For Africa, we find out what the world needs, and we thrive.